Your resistance is the only thing between you and everything you want. Every desire you've ever identified already exists in complete form. The moment contrast shows you what you don't want and you pivot toward what you do want, creation is instantaneous. The vibrational version materializes immediately. What you call waiting or manifestation delay is just you standing outside looking at an empty driveway while your desire sits complete inside a reality you refuse to enter. This reality operates on one principle: you receive what you vibrate. Desire forms, momentum builds, attraction assembles, all cooperative components. By the time you consciously recognize you want something, the heavy lifting is done. The universe has already orchestrated the rendezvous. Your only job is allowing what's already yours to become visible in physical form. Here's where most people sabotage themselves. They look at physical reality, notice the absence of their desire, and that noticing perpetuates the absence. You get what you think about. If you think, "I want this thing I don't have," you're broadcasting lack. The vibration of lack attracts more lack. The thing you want stays locked in vibrational reality while you hold yourself in a pattern of noticing its absence. This creates the fundamental split that blocks everything. Your inner being knows your desire exists and is approaching it with complete expectation, while your physical awareness focuses on its absence and approaches it with doubt. These are conflicting vibrations. The conflict generates negative emotion. The negative emotion is your indicator that resistance is active. Resistance slows down or completely blocks what you want from entering your experience. Think about driving to a destination. During those miles of travel, you're not there yet. But you don't drive obsessing over the absence of your destination. You're present with where you are, moving forward naturally. You have expectation. Expectation combines desire with belief. When you hold positive expectation about something, you're allowing it through your frequency. You're not blocking the unfolding, you're encouraging it through vibrational alignment. The state you want to maintain chronically is anticipation. Happy anticipation means you're not introducing resistance. You're in vibrational proximity to what you want. This is the sweet spot where your physical self approaches a subject the same way your inner being approaches it. When these align, you feel eagerness, love, appreciation, sometimes bliss. When they conflict, you feel negative emotion. Anger, frustration, worry, fear. These emotions are always indicators of resistance. Resistance is you contradicting with your current vibration what your inner being knows to be true. Your inner being never feels angry at someone. If you're angry at someone, your vibration conflicts with your inner being's vibration. That's the resistance. That's what slows everything down. You are the only one who introduces resistance into your experience. Nobody else can do it. You do it with your thoughts. This matters because manifestation speed depends entirely on how much time you spend without resistance. When you're a vibrational match to your desire, the gap between asking and receiving collapses. Some of you have been out of alignment long enough to create enough desires in the vortex to fill 20 lifetimes. You don't need more clarity about what you want. You know what you want. The only thing standing between you and having it is your vibrational stance. The vortex is where your vibrational reality exists. Everything you've asked for sits there in complete form. This isn't metaphor. Everything manifested in physical reality was first vibrational reality. Thought held long enough takes form. The vortex spins in pure positive energy, which means no resistant thought. When you think about what you want from a place of appreciation for it, from excitement about it, from freedom it will give you, that's a pure thought. That thought has no resistance, it allows. When you think about what you want from the perspective of its absence, from need, from desperation, from comparing where you are to where you want to be, you introduce resistance. I really want $100,000 is pure. I really want the $100,000 I don't have is contaminated with resistance. I want money because it's exhilarating and gives me freedom, allows. I want money because I need it, resists. Most of you spend the majority of your time outside the vortex, so comfortable with being outside that you don't even know what you're missing. You've normalized low-grade dissatisfaction. You've accepted that worry is just part of being responsible. You've decided that frustration is reasonable given your circumstances. All of these emotional states are resistance. All of them indicate you're standing outside the vortex while everything you want waits inside. Getting into the vortex requires nothing. You don't have to do anything to get in. The vortex is your natural state. You have to stop doing things that hold you out. This confuses people because stopping a thought pattern isn't as simple as deciding to stop it. When you say, "I'm not going to think that thought anymore," you're thinking that thought. When you decide, "I'm going to quit worrying," you're engaging the vibration of worry to identify what you're quitting. The approach that works is focusing yourself toward the vortex rather than trying to stop focusing away from it. You do this by finding thoughts that feel better. Not thoughts that feel perfect. Just thoughts that feel incrementally better than the thought you're currently thinking. This gradually shifts your frequency closer to the vortex until you cross the threshold and you're in. On the emotional scale, the doorway to the vortex sits somewhere between hope and belief. If you're in despair, anger, revenge, you're nowhere near it. Even though your inner being is in there calling you home, you have enough resistance active that you're not going easily. You're going because when you croak you go, but you're not going easily. The fact that you're not going easily generates those painful emotions. Sustained resistance turns into physical illness. Negative emotion is your inner being calling you while you hold a resistant stance. Your larger self is pulling you toward alignment while your current thoughts push against that pull. The conflict creates emotional pain. The pain is supposed to alert you to course correct. Most people feel the pain and look for something outside themselves to blame. They decide the pain is caused by their circumstances, by other people, by the unfairness of their situation. This keeps them locked in resistance because they're focused on changing external conditions instead of changing their vibration. You can't control external conditions enough to feel good. You can't make other people behave in ways that allow you into the vortex. Even if you could, you'd need to maintain that control constantly because the moment someone did something unexpected, you'd be knocked back out. This is why trying to control circumstances as a path to feeling good is backwards. It's much easier to focus your thoughts on things that take you into the vortex than to control the behavior of substantial numbers of people and events. The freedom you're looking for is freedom from your own vibrational discord. That discord is self-inflicted every single time. When you discover how to get into the vortex and maintain yourself there for increasing amounts of time, you experience freedom beyond anything you've known. Your life starts working, things flow, opportunities appear. People show up with exactly what you need exactly when you need it. This isn't luck, this is law of attraction responding to your clean vibration. Most people make getting into the vortex complicated. They think they need to meditate for hours, do elaborate rituals, earn their way in through good behavior. The vortex doesn't require earning. You're not being judged. There's no cosmic scorekeeper deciding if you've been good enough to deserve your desires. The only thing that matters is your vibration in this moment. If your vibration matches what you want, you're moving toward it. If your vibration focuses on the absence of what you want, you're pushing it away. This means you need to stop beating yourself up for not having figured things out yet. That self-criticism is resistance. It's you deciding you're not worthy, you're not ready, you're not smart enough, you're not whatever enough. Your inner being never agrees with that assessment. Your inner being knows exactly who you are and what you're capable of. When you criticize yourself, you create massive vibrational discord. That discord keeps you out of the vortex more effectively than almost anything else. Here's what actually happens when you want something. Life experience shows you contrast. The contrast helps you identify what you don't want, which causes you to identify what you do want. The moment you identify what you want, even before you consciously register it, your inner being locks onto that desire and begins approaching it with complete expectation. Creation happens. The vibrational version forms. All cooperative components begin assembling through law of attraction. Your physical mind usually catches up later. You have a conscious thought, I want this thing. By that point, significant momentum has already occurred. The majority of attraction power is already in motion. The exhilarating feeling you get when you first recognize a desire is you briefly syncing with your inner being's complete expectation that this desire is on its way. That feeling is what alignment feels like. Then doubt shows up. You look at current reality and notice your desire isn't there yet. You start wondering how it will happen, when it will happen, where it will come from. You start planning, strategizing, figuring out what actions you need to take. All of this mental activity introduces resistance because you're approaching the subject from a place of, it's not here yet and I need to make it happen. Your inner being approaches it from, it exists and it's coming. These are different vibrations. The way to maintain alignment is to feel the desire in its becoming rather than in its absence. Feel appreciation for what's unfolding. Feel excitement about what's on its way. Feel eager anticipation. These emotions indicate you're allowing. When you feel worried about whether it will happen, frustrated that it hasn't happened yet, disappointed by current circumstances, these emotions indicate you're resisting. Your work is noticing how you feel and adjusting your thoughts accordingly. If you're driving down the road and you start drifting into grass, you correct. You don't wait until you're completely off the road and crashed into a tree. You make small adjustments continuously. Managing your vibration works the same way. You notice when you're starting to feel negative emotion and you do something about it before momentum builds. Some subjects are riskier than others. If you're driving on a wide highway with little traffic, you can be somewhat casual in your attention. If you're driving on a mountain road with sharp drop-offs, you pay closer attention. Some thought patterns are like that mountain road. If you know a particular subject tends to take you into resistance quickly, you approach that subject with more deliberate focus on maintaining alignment. This doesn't mean avoiding subjects that might trigger resistance. It means being clear about who you are before you approach those subjects. It means preparing yourself vibrationally. Maybe you meditate first. Maybe you do something that makes you feel good first. Maybe you remind yourself of what you know to be true first. Then when you engage with the potentially triggering subject, you're already in a stable place. The subject is less likely to knock you out of alignment. What keeps most people out of the vortex is they're reacting to current reality instead of creating from the vortex. They see what is, they have an emotional response to what is, that emotional response becomes their vibration, that vibration attracts more of what is. This is the cycle that perpetuates unwanted circumstances. You can't create something different by continuing to vibrate in response to what already exists. Creating something different requires vibrating as if what you want already exists. This is what faith actually means. Faith is vibrational focus on what's in the vortex even though it hasn't manifested yet. Faith is attention to vibrational reality before physical reality confirms it. When you focus on what you've asked for and stop focusing on why you asked for it, when you feel appreciation for what's coming rather than frustration about its absence, you're exercising faith. You're allowing manifestation. The universe has better capacity to match you with what you want than you have capacity to figure out how it should happen. The universe has access to every vibration on the planet. It knows who everyone is, where everyone is, exactly what their vibration is. It can perfectly orchestrate rendezvous between you and every cooperative component needed to manifest your desire. Your job is not figuring out how. Your job is getting into the vortex and staying there so you're a cooperative component to your own desire. If you're feeling elation, you're a cooperative component. If you're feeling frustration, overwhelm, worry, you're not a cooperative component. You're introducing resistance that blocks or slows manifestation. This is why managing your emotional state matters so much. Your emotional state is your point of attraction. When you feel good, you attract good. When you feel bad, you attract bad. It's that simple. Most of your world tries to feel good by controlling external conditions. Make laws so that thing can't happen. Eliminate that threat. Force cooperation from others. This approach doesn't work because you can't control enough variables to maintain feeling good. There are too many moving parts. Too many people with their own agendas. Too many unexpected circumstances. Every single person on the planet is selfishly oriented toward their own well-being. Every person is making their way to their own vortex. You can't make them prioritize your vortex over theirs. The alternative is accepting that everyone is focused on their own path and your only job is finding thoughts that let you into your vortex. This is so much easier than trying to control the world. You just need to find a thought that feels better. Then another thought that feels better. Keep reaching for thoughts that feel better until you're in the vortex. Once you're in, stay there as long as you can. When something knocks you out, get back in. The more time you spend in the vortex, the faster your desires manifest. You don't need to figure everything out before your desire can manifest. You don't need to have all the resources lined up. You don't need to know exactly how it will happen. Those are action-oriented approaches that introduce resistance because they come from the premise that you have to make it happen. You don't have to make it happen. It's already happening. It's already in motion. Your work is allowing yourself to receive it. Allowing happens through alignment. You align by feeling good. You feel good by focusing on thoughts that feel good. Thoughts that feel good are thoughts about what you want from the perspective of having it, appreciating it, enjoying it. Not thoughts about needing it, lacking it, or wondering when it will show up. Those thoughts feel bad because they're resistance thoughts. When you wake up in the morning, you have a choice. You can look at your current circumstances and let those circumstances determine your vibration. Or you can deliberately focus yourself into the vortex before you start observing circumstances. The second approach gives you power. When you enter your day from inside the vortex, circumstances that would normally trigger resistance don't affect you the same way. You see them differently. You respond differently. You maintain your alignment more easily. Some people meditate every morning specifically to clear their vibration before engaging with their day. 15 minutes of quiet focus, letting thoughts settle, finding that clear space where resistance isn't active. Starting the day from that clear space changes everything because you're approaching your day from alignment instead of from reaction. You're creating instead of perpetuating. Then something happens. An email arrives that would normally upset you. A phone call delivers unwelcome news. Someone does something that usually triggers frustration. In this moment, you have a choice. You can go into reaction and let that stimulus knock you out of the vortex. Or you can notice you're starting to drift out of alignment and course correct immediately. Not because you're suppressing authentic emotion. Because you recognize that maintaining alignment serves you better than indulging reactivity. This doesn't mean you never feel negative emotion. You're going to feel negative emotion. You're exploring contrast. You're identifying new desires constantly. That process includes noticing what you don't want, which generates negative emotion. The negative emotion is useful. It shows you what you don't want so you can pivot to what you do want. The problem comes when you keep thinking the thought that generates the negative emotion. When you stay focused on what you don't want instead of pivoting to what you do want. The pivot is where power lives.